Okay, we're live, everybody.
We're live, everybody. Everybody be cool. Everybody just relax. There's no better way to get someone to not relax than to say, relax.
Yeah, right.
Relax.
Breathe.
Yeah, come on.
Relax.
Come on. I told you this is what we're doing tonight.
Right.
Well, everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy. That's Adam Hineker, stage right. Welcome to the Brian McCarthy interview show. If you're listening, it's a podcast. If you're watching, it's on YouTube or Facebook. And welcome to the machine. If you are watching, you can comment. Today's a very special episode. On today, we don't have any. It's just the two of us.
We're going to talk about eating disorders.
Yep.
Maybe bulimia.
Yeah, bulimia, and how
We'll learn a lesson.
and how it. And I'll tell you one thing about bulimia: it works.
It's effective.
Say what you want.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's the two of us. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, then we're going to make sure to kind of get over there. At the very top of this, I do want to say that Ted, who is a longtime friend,
he's already in the chat. He says, "Sweet boys."
Hi, Ted. Oh, you're already
X.
here. Okay,
Sweet,
great.
Sweet boys X.
Okay, Ted, we have you confirmed for next week. So Adam will get in touch with you. So if you can make it, please tell us, because we do have Rick Moranis on.
He's gonna. Yeah.
He's on
promote
deck.
his bluegrass band.
Yep. He goes, Steve Martin may have the banjo, but I have the dulcimer. I go, okay, you know what, you guys, and he's like, but I will not play with him.
He'll bring his hammers.
You know what I've heard about Steve Martin? Best toupee in the business.
Is that right?
Yep.
That's a piece.
It's been a piece for years, folks. I'm blowing it wide open. And Steve Martin is one of those guys who is, either you think he's funny or you don't, you know what I mean? But when he's not on stage, boy, is he not funny.
Serious fella.
He's comedy. Comedy, laughter is serious business with him. As a matter of fact, there's a great here in New York we have something called the 92nd Street Y, and that's short for YMCA, and they call it the 92nd Street Y because the Y is on.
Hey, more like 92nd Street Y.
Yeah,
right?
If there was like like a big question mark
for what?
Oh yeah, wow.
That's the kind of joke I'd probably use if I was on the board.
Yeah, you're cerebral like that. You're like for a lot of our fundraising, folks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have fun with punctuation and kind of put a little spin on put a little spin on the Y part of this. But
yeah,
and actually
kind of like a Kathy cartoon too. Yeah. Just like, what are we doing here, folks? Is it
So,
Friday yet?
God, what was Kathy? You want to do a deep cut? What was Kathy's boyfriend's name?
Oh my, no idea. I couldn't tell you.
Those of you who don't know, Kathy was a hilarious comic strip about a woman who had a cat and a terrible job, and she was unmarried and desperately lonely. I don't know why people thought it was funny, but hard to jerk off.
They could relate.
Hard to jerk off to, but I did it. Most comic strips were like had a terrible premise. You know what I mean? If you think about it, like Garfield, just poor John was his name.
Yeah, John Arbuckle.
Wow.
Yes.
That's good. Any relation to Fatty Arbuckle? Okay. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying is there's a great clip where apparently Steve Martin, they do these things where like at the Y, they'll bring on some sort of a cultural figure, maybe a Fran Lebowitz or some sort of a cultural icon.
Fran Tarkington.
A brand. Right.
Other friends.
Brent Spiner. Talk about his work as Data, the android from Star Trek, The New Power Generation. That's from Prince. Thank you. But and apparently they brought Steve Martin on, but he was only there to talk about bluegrass.
Yeah.
And the people in the audience were like, we have a question for the audience. Somebody was like, hey, when you made The Man with Two Brains, and he'd be like, I'm sorry. We're here to talk about my latest album, Appalachian Tears.
No more the jerk question.
Yeah. Excuse me. Let me just cut everyone off by saying Carl Reiner was great to work with. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about is there any it's funny because we've had Robert Wolf on the show, and he plays bluegrass, which
Bob Wolf does.
Bobby Wolf.
I knew he was like
Bobby Howe,
like a classical something.
He is,
but he's on that. He's a little crunchy too.
Yeah, he's like, I play classical music, but I'm tired of how popular that is. I want to play something that nobody likes.
Right.
So yeah, so he plays, so he's in sort of like, because there is a whole scene probably out there in the the hinterlands of
like
Brooklyn.
Ren festivals or something.
Yeah, well,
maybe?
or like, you know, people that get together. Like I think like bluegrass to me at this point, it's like overeducated white guys who are divorced. You know what I mean? Who are like, this is what I, you know, like, yep,
right.
You know, what is that thing they play? The you wash clothes, the washboard. Yeah, the washboard, or right. Well, after I wasn't tenured at MIT, I got into jug blowing. And so I'm jug blowing. Yeah. They go through cold. They're like in a bluegrass band called Cold Mountain. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's Tommy Finkelstein and Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain.
Hey, if you start dancing, please stop, because it's here to. My stepfather was a clogger. And that's what you do when you play.
Was he really, or is that a
no?
Okay,
not a if it a euphemism for abuse, then he was also a clogger. But no, he was a clogger, which meant they would play bluegrass music and they'd all stand around. And clogging is Appalachian dancing, where you don't move your legs. You get super stoned and you trying to jump around with your feet and you clog. I don't know.
Oh, so you're not supposed to move your legs. You're just kind of.
Well, hold on.
Just
sorry.
the feet.
I fucked up.
No. Oh, you meant just the legs, not the top.
Yeah,
right. You don't stay kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like that river dance, kind of.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it has its roots in, like, I don't know, like you know, English, I don't know, dancing or Scottish dancing or something like that.
Yeah,
because they came over and you would jump around in the Appalachian Mountains or something. And
fun fact.
Go ahead.
I think I told you this on the show.
No,
I knew one of the guys.
Go ahead.
The original river dance guys that founded that, or whatever, that started the
Michael somebody,
the Broadway. Well,
okay.
I won't say his name, but because of what I'm about to say, I worked with him.
Okay.
Because he was in Minnesota and he was in rehab.
Okay.
They have a great rehab center.
Yep.
And then he moved back to New York.
Okay.
And I moved to New York.
Okay.
And he, I think, got back on drugs.
Well.
And he called me once at 4 a.m.
Oh boy.
And asked me if I wanted to make some money.
Oh.
And he wanted to suck my dick.
Oh.
Yeah.
No kidding. Well, you've got to be on drugs to like.
Or like not 4. It was like 6 a.m. because I think I was getting up to work at a coffee shop.
I'll tell you this: he didn't wake up to make that phone call.
He had been up.
Yeah, he'd been up for a while.
He did not set his alarm.
No.
And get out the Keurig.
Yeah,
like he was up. Yeah,
he wasn't stretching out his hamstrings on a time to do a jog. What was his? How did you know him in Minnesota?
We worked together. He just kind of had like a little
at a mall
job. No, it was at like a kind of cafe wine bar thing.
Okay.
He was just kind of getting back into society because he had gone to the treatment center.
Do you remember what his drug of choice was?
I don't know.
Was it the kind of thing that would make you call somebody at 6 a.m. and try to blow them?
Maybe this fucking trucker speed. I don't know.
Probably meth. That sounds like a
a meth thing, or just maybe cocaine, just good old fashioned coke.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of coke. It seems like I don't know. You got to be pretty spun out.
I remember him going. There was this weird moment where he was like, he sort of made his proposal, and I said, "Are you? Is this like a bit? Are you kidding?" And there was a beat, and then he just said, "Should I be?"
Oh wow,
yeah, it was fuck. That got kind of hot, right?
Yeah. By the way, that's the best way to answer that. Are you kidding?
Should I be?
Am I? You tell me. How much did we talk dollar amount? Did he throw it out there?
I don't think we got to the negotiating part, but I remember being like, "That's a thing."
Yeah,
people would.
Oh yeah,
because he was like, "Listen, you don't have to do anything. You just gotta kind of lay there." And,
Well, I think I've told you I've been with a couple of gay friends in my past, and we'll be all fucked up, and they'll just like put on a porn and kind of look over at you like, "Hey, you like that? Like it's straight porn. Right. That's what you guys like." By the way, I don't know what gay men think of us. Like we're not so easily like aroused, or at least I'm not. Where I'm like, "Oh my god, you have what you put on Skinamax? Get over here and blow me." I want to,
wait, but it's straight porn, right? Because gay porn, that would be kind of more of a conversation starter.
I've had and you'll forgive the pun, I've had the harder sale pitch where it's like they kind of like present it to you like a timeshare. It's like, okay, listen, here's what's going to happen. You're going to just lay back. You're going to put that straight thing on. You're going to get yourself going. And then I'm just going to kind of come in.
Slide in.
And I'm just going to do it. You're going to think that I'm like, and you have to be polite and let them listen because you're always kind of in their apartment. It's never happens in your own place. And you're like, all right, well, short answer is no.
Yeah.
And the long answer is probably no too.
Probably no.
Yeah. Although I can see, here's the thing that probably there are, because I have had, what's always funny is like when you have like a gay friend and the gay friend knows other straight guys and you'll go out with a gay friend. And, sometimes that gay friend will kind of, they may throw it at you once or twice, 3, 4, 5, 12 times. And if you don't bite, they'll finally put it away. But then once they put it away with you, then they sort of want to let you know that it's worked with other people in your circle. So they'll be like, because I remember there's this one guy who I was friends with back in Baltimore. I was like, 8, 17, something like that. And he was an older gay guy, which he's probably 23. And I remember like he would constantly make overtures. And finally, I think he realized it just that dog won't hunt.
Yeah.
And but then I remember we were out and there was another guy. And I remember we were out one night, we were drinking, and he pointed over at that guy and he goes, blankety blank over there.
Tommy over there.
And I said, yeah. And he goes, it's been a couple of times. I've gotten through to him.
Yeah,
they want to show you that they can bag a buck,
right? Well, it seems like there's a lot of guys. There must be a lot of guys that claim to be straight out there that need a little coercing, like they're, you know what I mean? Because this has worked many times for them, and that's why they do it. And so they in their mind, every guy is gay. You just need to get there,
or at the very least, it's worth a shot. Yeah. And, and if you get it, listen, if you throw a balled up piece of paper at a wastebasket 30 times, you'll get it in twice.
Yeah.
So I don't begrudge them, for trying, but I do think it's funny because there is a point where they're like, all right, this isn't going to work. So the ones that I have done this to, I will betray their confidence. It's like, all right, well,
I knew a dude, was also back in Minneapolis, but I knew a guy that we had like a couple of gay guys in our friend group.
By the way, can I just get in for 1 second?
Sure.
Before I met you, I never knew how interesting Minneapolis was. It seems like a real town.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, apparently.
A lot going on.
I thought it was just that big mall in Prince.
Vibrant art scene.
Yeah, is that what you call it? Is that the euphemism?
Yes.
Please. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt
Supportive.
you. Tell me about their vibrant art scene.
So there was like a couple of gay guys, and one of them was just
painters.
One of them was just a regular, like he was very promiscuous. And then the other one is a guy named Todd.
Okay.
And Todd's thing was to like try to get straight guys.
Sure.
And I guess there was a couple in our sort of peripherally in our friend group, and the guy in the couple hooked up with him a couple of times.
Okay.
So I mean, and he was with a lady.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it was like this Todd guy was so hung up on this guy because he was like the forbidden fruit that he had cracked a couple of times. So apparently there are those guys that get enough Boone's Farm in them, and they'll suck your dick or let you suck theirs.
Whatever you would, and whenever you talk to a gay guy, the sort of the overarching sort of thing is they're always attracted to straight guys, which is fine.
I guess that would,
yeah, you want and I feel badly because then you see like a gay guy who's like
super masculine guys like Adam and Brian.
Super weird. Yeah, a couple of bench pressing bros,
alphas.
Yeah,
alphas.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of that, it's funny. This morning I went to the doctor a week and a half ago, and I was laying in bed and I got a phone call, and it was my doctor, which is never good because I think he's called me twice in the 10 years I've seen him. So. Right. And he's a really nice guy. And he goes, and he always like jokes around. He goes, is this Brian McCarthy? He's Persian. He goes, is this Brian McCarthy from his interview show? And I said, Doctor, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, why are you calling? Am I dying?
Is this Vinny Boom Bots?
Yeah.
You have a kind of a bit for him.
Yeah, we go back and forth. But whenever you go, I just wanted to, it's like kind of like if you ever have a kid at camp, when the camp calls, the first thing they always go is, hi, this is, Tom from summer camp. Everything's fine.
Gotcha.
But so he was like, because he never calls me. So I was like, hey, am I dying? And he goes, no, your numbers are, and he kind of was like, your numbers are good. He goes, are you, he goes, your testosterone numbers are over the moon.
Really?
And
I said, high T?
I know. And I said, and of course I made a joke. I said, what are you talking about? I'll fucking kill you.
Yes.
I said, shut up, faggot.
Yeah. Let me take a break from eating bison venison.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
so, yeah.
Bench
Sorry.
pressing.
Yeah, I'm in between. I'm supersetting.
Mhm.
So apparently, according to the doctor, a man of my age, your testosterone number would be say
Wow.
800, and I'm at like 990.
Are you working out a lot? I heard that can
Well, I'll tell you
boost
what.
the T.
I'll tell you my secret is that I work out to feel good. I look like this by accident. So for me,
Mm.
it's about what it does for my spiritually, what it does for
Mhm.
me. And but no, yeah, I don't know why. But then he was saying to me, he was like, why are your numbers so high? He goes, what else are you taking? And I said, I don't know. I really don't know. I said, I take a big pile of pills every morning, and I just kind
Yeah.
of I swallow them dry. I pretend that like that I'm that strong men make me take pills.
Yeah.
So I'll stand there in my bathroom naked with the dry pills in my hand, and then you ever chew a vitamin?
I think I did
It's
once when I was a kid.
it's
Didn't know that.
well,
Yeah, it's
maybe
a bad.
if you chew
taste.
like a chewable vitamin, they taste pretty good, like a
Mm.
Flintstone
Oh
vitamin.
no, yeah, those are delicious.
Yes.
If it's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, for
10
sure.
10 million strong and growing. But if you chew like, I don't know, the vitamins that I have, but I'll do it sometimes because
Really? Why would you do that?
I don't know. I pretend that I like there's cyanide and like I work for the government. I have a whole thing I do. When I'm nude.
Kind of a death before dishonor.
Yeah, I
type
go, hurry.
situation.
The Russians are here. I
Your
gotta
wife's
get
holding up a
I
bunch
gotta,
of
I gotta get this down.
vitamins.
All right, for those of you, my wife is in the kitchen, and one of my beautiful daughters who just got back from summer camp. So shout out to Mia, she's over there, and my wife is over there, kind of going through. Are you doing the pills?
She's alphabetizing.
She
your
held it
pills,
up, and
I
now
think.
we can't. She won't talk now. But anyway, she's over here.
Just
What are you
holding
doing?
up all the.
Did you find the
Oh,
testosterone?
wow.
All right,
Is he on?
here you go, everybody.
Are you
Oh,
putting
yeah.
tea in his meatloaf?
This is
What's happening?
Can you read the box, please, or the bottle?
Or what is that? NAD
NAD
cubed
Yeah,
Fountain of Youth.
Fucking A.
NAD plus booster.
it has over
Okay.
75 million milligrams of testosterone. Let's take some right.
Wasabia
You know what?
japonica.
I think the problem is I take one bottle of
Copper.
this a day.
Uh-huh.
So I take 70 a
Wow.
day. So maybe this is maybe I should take a pic. Maybe Jocelyn will send this to our doctor and see if this is the culprit. But he was funny. He was like, you're already taking Ozempic, which I didn't tell you to take. So he goes,
Right.
God knows what else you're taking. So anyway, and this is which one is this?
What's that one?
This
That
one?
is liver support
Well, that's fine.
with
that one-
milk thistle.
Yeah, milk thistle is good for you. Hey, folks, and if you banged on your liver for I don't know, 30 years, like somebody in the room, milk thistle.
I always add that when I'm at Jamba Juice. I add milk thistle.
Do you really?
No,
Is Jamba Juice still
I
around?
don't know. None of this is really happening. None of this is true. But it'd be a funny thing to add.
Yeah.
Milk thistle, wheatgrass.
Yeah. Or you make the guy behind the counter really uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Do you have anything for AIDS?
Oh
Excuse
yeah,
me.
you got any triple cocktail? I'm noticing more of those
What?
commercials for
What are you-
HIV stuff.
What are you watching? There a lot of Bravo, I'm guessing. Watching a lot of Bravo.
I saw one when I was watching 60 Days In.
69 days in.
Oh,
Hey,
maybe because it's
funny you should say that. Just last night, I started watching 60 Days In, and for those of you who don't know, and Adam, you can jump in and
Mhm.
help me out here, because the premise behind 60 Days In, as I understand it, is there's some prison, jail, Clark County Jail. Do I have that right?
they did do Clark County.
Okay.
I think that was last season.
Are they on to many?
Yeah, they do a bunch
Okay.
of.
All right. Well, the one I was watching was Clark County Jail, and they have the warden on. He's like a new warden.
Mhm.
And folks, if you're a Patreon, I'm sorry.
That's Foley. That's
Yep.
Foley.
That's just that's a couple of hard shoes clapping together.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you. Doing something. Love you. Bye. Bye. Okay. What I was saying is that so the show opens up and they talk to the warden. By the way, this warden, and
Is it a black warden?
I don't see race.
he's like a
No,
real.
no, he's a big fat white guy.
That's a couple seasons back.
Yeah,
then.
if I'm starting, I'm starting. You know what I mean? I'm not
Oh,
jumping
you're
in.
starting like it. Okay, gotcha.
Although I will tell you, I feel like it's the kind of show where you don't need to start at the first season. It feels like every season it's the same thing.
Oh
just
yeah,
different.
you could start wherever, whatever season.
But
yeah.
every jail, every correctional officer, the warden, everybody is like 200 pounds overweight.
Wow. wow.
They're these big fatsos because
Big
I think
fat
it's
guys.
I think it's in the middle of, and the women too. It's like in the Midwest or something. I don't know. Anyway, so they open up and the guy's like, "We're bringing in." So
Clark County.
and if I'm not mistaken, and you can help me
I want
with
to say
this.
Virginia.
No,
No.
I don't know where it is, but whatever it is, they're not afraid of a plate of pancakes.
I think I've only seen. Oh no, Clark County is Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh wait, no, Clark County.
There's probably one more.
Vegas.
Clark
County.
No. There's got to be more than one Clark County in America. We're
the
full
two
of
that I'm seeing are Nevada. Oh, there's one in
because it can't be Vegas because Vegas's county is not called Clark.
Oh, what's it called?
I don't know. Vegas County. It's called Casino County.
Fucking Jackpot County.
It's called Blackjack. I live on Blackjack Street. I don't know. Henderson County is Vegas.
Okay, yeah.
There you go.
And then isn't that the? Or no, I'm thinking of Pahrump.
You're thinking of Harry and the Hendersons, which
is
is where John Lithgow
driving a Volvo, right?
John Lithgow and his family find Bigfoot, and he lives with them, and it's hilarious. John Ritter was going to play that, but he dropped dead in the middle of a racquetball game. It's making this stuff up. Okay, 60 days in. What happened?
Oh no, Vegas is Clark County.
All right, I'm wrong. I don't know. What do I know? There's a Henderson County around Clark County.
Yeah.
Is it Vegas adjacent? It doesn't matter. But okay, so
there's a city called Henderson.
All right.
Anyways,
Clark
map talk.
Yep. Clark County. The guy opens up and they're like, we've had a lot of problems in this jail. We've had drugs. We've had this. We've had that. And we're going to bring in, and this is the part, maybe you can help me with this, because the way I understand it is they bring in just regular people that aren't really in law enforcement, but kind of have a background in the military, or they have some sort of background where for some reason they want to go undercover into a jail.
Yes.
Right. And that's what it is. So they bring these people in. But I watched the first episode, and it was the entire thing was, excuse me, I'm going to use a TV term here. There's a lot of extrapolation, if you will. It's just a lot of, you meet the people. There was this one woman who was such a lesbian. She had like this high and tight haircut, but also like those weird like lady like eyebrows, kind of like drag queen eyebrows. And she was like, I can't wait to get in there and make it different. I'm going to miss my wife. And there are adopted kids, 2 of which have cerebral palsy. You're like, all right, bumming me out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then, and they take the people and they toss them into like cell block C or cell block E, but the problem is like, I have a hard time with, with my stupid vision with subtitles, and these prisoners, when they talk, I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Doesn't jive.
Yeah, but they're mumbling a lot because I think they know they're mic'd, so they're always kind of, you can see what's going on. But I'll tell you one thing, like I've spent some time in county jail, and these jails they just look horrible. Like you're laying on the floor with like a foam mattress.
In the men's ones too, a lot of times it's just like a huge open room.
Yeah,
with steel bunk beds.
Yeah, we call that dorm style.
Okay, that's dorm style.
That's dorm style. Which, by the way, would you prefer dorm style, or would you prefer to be like in a 4-bunk room, but there's 6 of you? It seems like at the very least with dorm style, it's open to everybody, but it's probably better. You make more friends.
Sure.
You look over.
Camaraderie.
You look over, you go, hey, Spider, can't sleep? Yeah. Having those dreams again? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I miss my family. I
miss my paw.
Hey, don't tell anybody. I'm in here for secret. I'm on a TV show. You just wake up shanked.
Well, there was one guy on I think it was the most recent season, that they didn't hide the microphones well enough, I guess, in his cell. And so the guy went in, and he was on the show for 90 minutes. Or he was like in the cell for 90 minutes. And all these guys were going up because the one that I think that's airing now happened during quarantine.
Okay.
So they have to go in quarantine for 5 days.
Sure.
So you basically go in, and it's just you and another weirdo for the first 5 days. And then and apparently like production, they just didn't hide stuff well enough. And so they went, wait, there's guys going all around that are not in quarantine, eating their fucking Nilla wafers or whatever. And they're like, yeah, I think there's one in there, and then there's one in there, and they're like, this guy must be on the TV show. So it was like they blew his cover immediately.
I would go, no, I'm not. Hey, where are the drugs? I'm not on that TV show.
Right.
Anybody do anything that would be, hey, do me a favor. When you tell me, look over there, look in that,
Yeah.
look, cheat over there a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't really understand. I mean, I do understand the premise, but like, is there any kind of a resolution? Do they bust him at some point? Do they come in?
No,
And,
so it's all, I guess, to sort of gather intel so
Yeah.
that and then they debrief at the end.
Okay.
And they go, what can we do better? And
be funny, like in the
go-
debriefing, the guy's got like a swastika burned into his face.
Right.
Like he can't sit because he's been raped 100 times.
but there's a lot of guys that have done time
Yeah.
already, and those are interesting because they'll come in and they'll just fall right into.
yeah.
There was like a Puerto Rican dude from New York that just was running the jail
Sure.
immediately. So
Well, he probably feels like he can do it he probably has a degree of autonomy
Mhm.
because he's been to jail and now he's
Right.
in there. And I watched this guy on YouTube, Burner 420,
okay.
which is a guy that was he was in prison and he answers questions that people have about prison. And it must be very popular because it just kind of showed up in my feed. And so someone will pose a question like, and I'll answer it and he'll go like, what's the difference between prison and jail? Let's get into this. And his face is covered with tattoos and he has like dyed purple hair.
Okay.
He's kind of hot. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Bernard 420 looks like he can throw it down. So, and he'll answer questions and he'll say like, what happened? A recent question was like, if you're in the military and you go to jail, what happens? And he's like, listen, just do your own time, keep your head down, nobody really cares. And then they'll be like, what if you're a police officer? And he's like, oh yeah, no,
definitely don't let anybody know.
you're gonna, because you know what they do when this is interesting.
Oh, right, the paperwork.
Yeah, paperwork, right.
Mhm.
Do they give you fake paperwork at the 60-day?
They don't, and that's like a crazy thing because basically you have these people, some of them have been in prison, so they know a little better how to cover,
Right.
but a lot of them haven't, so they're just like a gym teacher or something.
Okay.
From New Jersey, and
they got to give him fake paperwork
that for some reason is in North Carolina because
Okay.
he got picked up on a weapons charge, so they have to really cover, and they're not experienced covering, so they don't give them fake paperwork, which I think is stupid.
It'd be great the first season they're all actors, so like, where's your paperwork? They give him like a headshot. Like
You tax returns from 2007.
you do Midland, you could do a Midland England
shit.
accent. Yeah.
Oh shit, you drive a manual transmission? Oh
Yeah,
my
right.
god.
Well, you studied mime in Edinburgh, Scotland. Yeah. So anyway, so I've been doing robberies for
Sure.
for a fortnight here in
Mhm.
here in Ohio. You're like cheating to the camera. Yeah. It's like your big break. We're here alone in prison.
Oh, by the way, that particular Clark County is in Indiana.
Thank you.
Mhm. That season I definitely watched.
Okay.
It was a good one.
Yeah. And then in that season, they do go to the women's side too. And
Yeah.
I know in that one, I don't think I'm gonna watch it because I started and it's, again, I can't really understand them because they're constantly showing subtitles. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even, and they this may sound a little gay, but they're the big orange jumpsuits. I wish they were a little more fitted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to see what it's doing in those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like how
True.
shapeless the orange jumpsuits
Mhm.
are. Give them like a nice leotard or like an orange leotard.
There was one, I
Go ahead.
forget what season it was, where there was lots of great lesbian stuff going on.
Okay.
And there was like a girl that went in and she was married on the outside. She was like a housewife basically, but she was attractive and she
Sure.
went in and like
Got turned out.
what kind of, but
Okay.
it was like she had a really good body.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so all these lesbian and bicurious
Yeah.
inmates were like, let's see your ass. And she's like twerking with,
Oh boy.
yeah, it was that was somewhere in the Midwest too.
I bet. Yeah, most
But
of
it
them
was pretty hot.
Yeah, well, most of them like prison food and things like that. They don't really have they don't really have they don't do like, is there, I mean, I'm guessing, are there any seasons where the girls get a Peloton or something in their
I don't
cell?
think
Because
so.
they don't.
This most recent one, there's like a whole, they're doing like Pilates and
Oh.
stuff. There's like a whole group
Well, okay.
for like people that want to try to get out of the life or whatever, try to get off drugs and stuff.
Or at least do Pilates. I would do Pilates in
Yeah.
prison, and then as soon as I get out of prison, I would do drugs.
Yeah.
And then I would talk to the people I'm doing drugs with and be like, you guys should all do Pilates. It's great. let's all do Pilates and crystal meth. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah, you can do way more Pilates when you're cranked up.
oh yeah, 3 days in.
But yeah, it's a good. I like it. There've been a couple seasons where I couldn't. Like if there's one annoying character,
Yeah,
that there was one where there's this dude from Atlanta that was like jacked and
what
and
about him?
handsome and he was just too much of a show off to where he was like, I'm gonna come in and really excel, and he came in and just immediately started doing like pull-ups on everything, and he just showed off too much and was like making friends, and it was really stupid.
Like,
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. It's like, God, make him. How thirsty are you?
Yeah, he was very thirsty. He was very thirsty. You could tell it was like he was trying to get a career in reality TV or something.
Right.
You know, there's always like that one real world person where you're like, I can't watch this.
They're all sitting around at night and he's like, hey, you guys, I'm writing a screenplay about like a guy that's like, looks like me, but is, you know, a TV show, and he's undercover and all the prisoners want to be him because he's so dope. Yes. And anyway, but there's going to be robots in it. Yeah. Anybody want to blow me?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of I tell you one thing. I did like to watch like Lockup or Supermax. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Because you know what? It's wild. If you're in those prisons where you get locked down 23 hours a day, you know the food they give you? It's called a loaf, and it's just like a loaf of like the bare minimum of like
just nutrients that you need,
like protein, and I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's called like prison loaf. And it's just like because some of those prisons, like, you know, a lot of them, they have like, you know, you can work in the kitchen and you can do this, but the ones that like where you're locked down for 23 days, you know, they don't let those guys out to like work in the kitchen. So they're just, they give them this like, you know, it's like, it looks like meatloaf, but I'm sure there's no real meat in it. It's like styrofoam with vitamins in it or whatever, or maybe NAD in it. I don't know.
So like they just want no joy
in
your life. Like they want
no.
Now you got to give you a bologna sandwich with yellow mustard.
No, there's no. They don't do like they don't have like Taco Tuesday in the Supermax.
I did watch. There's a good documentary on HBO that's like a Supermax prison in Virginia. Okay, where they're 24. It might be 23 and 1, but it's like the one is they just take you to like a pen. Yeah. That's chain link fence, and you just kind of get to you get to like walk in a circle, and they they go kind of into the psychological aspects of it, and the mental health guy goes around. They're like, yeah, we noticed that even people that are completely have great mental health, once they're in here, they basically all just go crazy because that level of isolation will drive anybody nuts.
And I'm sure they have some sort of like roll call meeting with everybody, and they're like, all right, cellmate 482, he's eaten both of his ears. So because he's so lonely. Although I will say, if you're in that prison, like you did something very terrible.
And that is, it's a progression of all of these inmates were let out and given like 20 different chances probably, and they got in fights immediately. So they just got to the point where it's the whole facility is just, and then you can eventually, if you behave well, but I'm like, I don't even know how you would behave well because there's no variable for you to.
Well, I think it's
get
like
into really.
If you don't throw like poop at everybody or pee, right? Or, I know it's like it's probably pretty easy to behave well in Supermax prison, but you're so crazy that it's I would say it's hard to see the forest for the trees. When you're eating prison loaf and you're locked down 23 hours a day. Yeah, and they don't even have like a bed. They have like a piece of like steel. It's like, it's like not, I mean, they probably give him a blanket or something, but the lights are never off. And but again, like I understand circumstances being what they are, but you're not in there for a traffic ticket.
No. It's the end of the road. It's like they just quarantine you as a person from the rest of society.
Would you say America warehouses are mentally ill criminals?
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that?
School to prison pipeline.
Yeah, I think
that's a thing.
People also think that like there's a federal prison where there's. Although I will say, when I worked for the National Lampoon, shout out to Dan Lakin, who was one of the guys who owned the Lampoon. He was in a federal prison in Eastern California, somewhere like out in the desert, like Riverside, kind of out going towards whatever the fuck that is. And that was like a minimum security federal prison, and like a white collar prison, and so like, and it was, what was funny about that is most of the guys in there were there for white collar crimes. So they were really smart. So it sort of was like Hogan's Heroes, because they would always have like the guards would always be like these kind of knucklehead like townies, you know what I mean? And it would be some like guy, like a Bernie Madoff kind of guy, sort of, who'd be like, and they figured out they were always like gaming. Like I remember Dan, there was something along the lines of like, when he was in there for like, I don't know, 48 months, 56 months, pretty long time, all things being equal. But they would go and talk to the warden, and apparently like the warden, they convinced the warden to let them bring in like a 50-inch plasma TV. And if you could prove you worked in show business, they could watch DVDs of kind of whatever they wanted. So I remember like my friend Adam, which is his son, would always be like, oh, I'm going to see my dad. And he'd bring like, and all the other inmates would be like request like, oh, can you bring like, I don't know, Clash of the Titans or whatever, Clash of the Titans, and they would all, and they'd have like they would just sit, apparently like him and the other. And I think like, if you could prove like, I don't know, like Jewish, like, the kosher meals, there was way they would work around, they would figure out ways to kind of game the system a little bit. But again, this was like a minimum security federal prison, you could play racquetball or whatever it is. But, I remember, do you remember like years ago, there was a guy in Sweden who was a white supremacist who shot and killed like 40 Muslims. It was a huge, I don't know the number exactly, but remember that it was like, right. And it was like, number one, I think there's like 5 guns in Sweden. It's not a country that is known for like, that kind of, America. We say what you want about America, but we're the ones that gun violence is kind of our thing. But this guy was like a white nationalist, and he went and killed all these Muslims. So there's no death penalty in Sweden, and they put him in a jail. But even like jail in Sweden is kind of like, have like, there's like a room that you can, there's like arts and crafts and stuff. But I remember reading somewhere that he was petitioning the government or the warden or whoever you would petition, because he had a PlayStation 2 and it didn't have good graphics, and he wanted a PlayStation 4. And he's like, hey, everyone is playing the good games, and God of War on my PlayStation 2 is not good. It's really blocky.
There was a show, I don't know if it was on World's Toughest Prisons. That's a show on Netflix.
Yep.
And it was like they did a week off or something, but there was a show where they showed just prisons around the world.
Yeah, it was like a guy that would been in English guy.
Was that still on World's Toughest Prisons? I don't know, but they showed a prison in Scandinavia, and it looked like an IKEA, like it was all just very basic, clean.
Yeah.
And it was more like a group home.
Yeah, it was a good group
and they
home.
were able to leave for work. And I mean, jail was like better than a lot of Americans' lives.
And they had like a little kitchen, and they could and they could make food,
and they would be like, oh, this week we're they would all kind of get together and
my girlfriend is coming for the weekend. Yeah, exactly. Like they all have their own rooms. Well, like that's, but again, they don't have, most of those guys aren't in there for like violent crime. I don't know what the fuck you do.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things though, where like the curve is just different there, where they, even the people they very much believe in reforming people, and not just it's probably less of an industry to warehouse people there. Here, I think it's just, we make money off of it a lot. So.
Hey, Adam, love it or leave it, pal.
I mean, listen,
I didn't
realize
what a libtard you were.
Right. But,
and
so it's probably, there's probably some government sort of regulation on, maybe you can't make as much money.
I wonder if that guy ever got his PlayStation. They're like, we'll give you an Xbox 360.
I just remember seeing the inside, and it was like concrete floor, but like, like a nice loft that they're going for an industrial look.
Yeah, like a sealed concrete floor.
Yeah, sealed concrete floor. And thinking like, wow, this is way nicer than a lot of people's like apartments in New York City. I mean,
but let's be okay. Have you ever hung out with people from Sweden? They're terrible.
Yeah,
So
I
like
knew one
you
girl
gotta,
from Sweden, and she
you
was
gotta
not
hang out
fun.
with them all day
Yeah,
long.
she was bad.
Yeah, you're like, oh
She
god,
had no
I'd rather
personality.
be in the Supermax with like some white supremacist with no eyelids.
Sure, you got a little personality.
Yeah, you gotta
This guy's got a spider
Yeah.
web
Oh,
tattoo
good.
on his face.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
You know what? At least you're not from Oslo or whatever the hell is. One
Right.
of my dogs is barking.
Mhm.
It's a show. By the way, this show's garbage, and I'm sorry, everybody, but we're doing our best.
We're having fun.
We're having fun.
We're having a good
It's
time.
prison talk with Brian and Adam. One more thing about that prison show you're talking about. There were a couple episodes where it's the exact opposite, and they show you like a prison in Central Africa, and it's like,
yeah, that's most of it.
yeah, oh
Yeah.
my sweet Christ, like,
Or like Thailand or something where
but-
they like
oh,
they're like,
yeah.
oh, there's not enough room, so they have to sleep on top of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
you
it's
sleep
fucking insane.
Yeah, you sleep hugging another man.
There was one in the Philippines that was the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, it was just like 1,000 guys in a room.
Yeah.
And you would have to like fight each other for a noodle.
Yeah, although the one I'm thinking of is like, it was like in Nambia or some part of Africa where and the guy shows up and they're like, they don't even have like, I don't know, water or something. They're just
Mhm.
pissing in each other's mouths, and the guards are poking them with sticks. Like it's always bad when like they're poor, those guys are poor. They don't even have walls around the prison. Like it's just a big area of
Yes.
just guys.
Yeah, that's world's toughest prisons. That's a crazy fucking show. It's that English dude that like was falsely accused and did like 12 years or something. And
yeah. Well, he has to be able to, because he has to have a little street credibility. And there is a prison in Colombia where you can go and you can stay overnight. It's like a hotel. It's a famous, they may have closed it by now, but there was like a famous prison where I read a book about it, where if you, let's say you were, arrested for drug smuggling. So you would go to this prison.
Mhm.
And, a lot of these prisons, if you have money, you can sort of create your own experience, it's not great, but you're going to have like an air conditioner, maybe. I mean, you can live pretty well, but this one in particular, like you could go and you could like take a tour of the prison, and you could like, I don't know, like stay overnight. And these guys, like, I remember like a couple of these prisons, even the ones from that TV show.
Oh my God.
That was Joe DeRosa calling.
Yes.
Joe DeRosa has the Darth Vader song as his ring. Hi, Joe. By the way, everybody, Joe DeRosa has a new album out, or a new song out. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that he did
With
a new song.
He's a new song. It's actually pretty good. I mean,
the video is Jeff
good.
Gurian, right?
Jeffrey Gurian. That's
I haven't
right.
had a chance to check it out fully, but
it's good. It's a lot of fun. I forget the name of the song, but
I was not aware that Joe was a recording artist.
I've known for a while, and I have said about Joe is like, I give him a lot of credit because he knows like how douchey that can sound, and he just doesn't care. He's like, look, I like my little electro pop music, and if you like it, great. If you don't, but he does not take himself seriously.
So does he actually make music? Like he created I think I heard a snippet of it, and it was kind of like
it's
EDM.
like synth pop, electro,
and he makes all the music.
He has a buddy.
Mm-hmm.
And they were in New Orleans and they made it together. So I don't know. They're like Hall & Oates or something. I don't know. Or George Michael and the other guy, Andrew.
Like Wham?
Yeah. Wake me up. But yeah, no. And then he got Jeffrey Gurian to be in the video.
As you do.
I know. I actually had lunch with Joe yesterday, and I saw him. And the first time I've seen him since. And he was like, what'd you think of the video? And I was like, honestly, I think I should have been in the video. But
yeah,
he was like, I wanted an older guy. I said, well, mission accomplished. But
yeah.
And Jeffrey was good in it. So fuck it. What do I know?
He's a good, like, visually
arresting.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
He's a funny guy to, like, if you were, what's that guy? Fat Boy Slim or something. Like when he did the thing with.
Yes. I hear what you're saying.
Christopher Walken.
Are you saying that I'm too handsome to be, people wouldn't take it seriously? Like, because I've lost all this weight and I'm so good looking. That
yeah. I mean, it's good to not be.
Yeah. I believe that
hilarious to look at.
Yeah. My matinee good looks would be distracting.
Yeah.
What Joe wants is the music to speak for itself and not have people all wrapped up in how much they want to fuck me. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You just.
That's why he went with some
super horny. And
he went with some old Jew. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, Adam. Your anti-Semitism is cleared it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's what he did. So that's what Joe did. So Joe called and yeah, but that show I was talking about where you can go to Colombia. Who cares? But anyway, you've been arrested, right?
Not, I mean, yeah, but
Did you go?
when I was under 18, and so like I got put in a cop car just for like being at a party, and they're like, you're not old enough to drink. I got put in a cop car, taken down to the station, and then like,
it sounds like you were
fingerprinted and shit.
Sounds like you were scared straight.
Yeah. But it wasn't, I didn't have to go into jail or anything. I just had to call one of my friends at 4 a.m. to come pick me up. That was awkward. But yeah, it was just underage consumption. That's the only time I think I ever was I don't even know if that's arrested. There was no cuffs.
Were you processed?
I think.
Did they do your fingerprints and everything?
I think so.
Okay, well, sounds like you were arrested.
Maybe not, though.
I think they did it like pretended just to scare you.
Yeah.
They're like, we're using invisible ink.
Oh, you know what? I got caught shoplifting when I was a kid.
Oh.
And they called the cops. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm a child.
What were you shoplifting? Medical equipment?
I don't know. It was just like some little bullshit from the store.
Never did it again, though.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, see?
I wasn't like a kleptomaniac or anything. I just remember I was like near the store by my house, and I didn't have money on me. I had money at home because I had a paper route, but I didn't have the money on me. I remember my mom was really pissed about that because she's like, you had the fucking money and we live 2 blocks away.
Yeah,
like,
you're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You're 8.
Yeah. Fuck you, Mom.
Yeah. Do you ever remember The Simpsons where Bart steals a video game? It's very funny, but he steals a video game. Yeah, and he gets caught by the small security guard, and he takes him in the office, and the guy picks up the phone and he pretends to call like his mom, and he goes, "This is Mr. Rogers from Twin Oaks Mall. That's right, that Mr. Rogers." Like it's just a dial tone. He hangs up. And he goes, "Yeah, oh, it's so funny,
man." Good times. Yeah,
good times. Well, you know what I like to watch? I do it on YouTube. I like to watch when guys have cops have body cameras on them, and they pull people over. Because I will say this: you really, there are certain times when people get pulled over. Every time I've ever been pulled over, I have always been so polite. And people get this cop will go over to the window, and there'll be somebody sitting there, and she'll be like, "What the fuck do you want? Like, how?" And the guy's like, "Listen, I'm sorry, you were going 95 in a 25, and I need your license." And she's like, "Suck my asshole." And it's like
people that are like,
I know,
really rude.
I know, and I'm like, I watch, and
this guy could tase you right now.
More often than not, the cop's like, "All right, ma'am, please," and she's like, "You deserve to die in a ditch.
I pay your salary.
Yeah, go kill yourself."
A lot of I pay your salary.
Yeah, talk. I pay your salary talk. Right. Exactly. And they just end up, and they just go back and they give them the ticket. I mean, sometimes then but there are times when like the cop is almost pleading with them because the cop's like, "Listen, do you have a license?" "Yeah." "Please just give it to me and give me your registration." And what I do not want to take you down, and like, but you have to understand it's a crime to not. She's like, "Your face is a crime." You're like, Jesus Christ. And they end up like, and then the minute they put those cuffs on there, they go, and because I think the law is once they have handcuffs on you, they can't take them off. I think once the handcuffs are on,
that sounds like a thing.
You got to go to prison. I remember I watched one where they were breaking up some big like beach party in like, I don't know, St. Petersburg or some big stupid Gulf Coast beach town. And there was some kid that they had in handcuffs in the back of the car. And because I guess he was whatever he did, but the cops weren't, they were going to kind of do what they did with you. They were going to put him in the back of the car, and you could hear it on the body cam. They're like, "All right, this fucking kid, we're just going to put him in the back." He was a ringleader. It was like a fight. Put him in the back. He's a ringleader. And he's in there with like no shirt on, no shoes, some white kid. At some point, you see on the camera, another white kid sneaks over, opens the cop door, and the kid's already handcuffed, and he goes, "Woo!" And he just starts running down the beach. The cops like tackle him, tase him, and then the kid's sobbing, and the cops are like,
"It's not funny.
Now we have to charge you for like attempted escape. Like now you're like
resisting arrest.
This just turned into 20 grand for you, you dumb fucking moron." Yeah. So anyway,
I did one time in high school. I got out of a skateboarding ticket. I convinced the cop that I was a youth pastor.
Wow.
Which I don't know where that came from, but I just like, it was what I thought of. Wow. It was a group of friends of mine. We were like cruising around this street. We were going way too fast. And we were it was dangerous.
Sure.
And we got pulled over, and they're like, "You can't." And I was like, "Listen, man, I get it. I I mentor kids. I'm a youth pastor. Like I
come to you?
totally 100. I just fucking came to me, and the guy was like, I get it, you know, and I don't know why, but it was very effective though.
You're like, I know what you're thinking. You see me on this skateboard. It must be some kind of holy roller. Well, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with these at-risk teens.
Yes.
And right. I don't know. I know. I'm out here every day, man, with these kids trying to get them off reefer and everything. And you're wearing like pleated Dockers. Reefer. Yeah. They're all on reefer. This one kid, his parents are divorced. Imagine how that is. Must be every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The bottom line is like, not that you can talk your way out of something, but if you're not, especially like if most police, obviously, you know, there are extenuating circumstances, but like you can pretty much, they don't really want to lock you up for some dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
But I've seen them like, especially like when the racial thing comes in there, like they'll go to the window, it'll be some white cop, it'll be some black woman. And then he'll be like, can I have your license? She's like, why? 'Cause I'm black. What, are you gonna choke me out like George Floyd? And he's like, oh boy. Just I'll let you keep going. Fuck you. And I'm like, all right, now we're doing this. Like, I don't know, but it's a shame because I don't know how I feel about you need, like Ted would tell you. By the way, let's check in with Ted and see, are we good for next week, Ted?
Yeah, he's down.
Okay,
he's in.
Done. So
okay.
All right, we'll call Rick Moranis. We'll book him for next month or something.
You remember when it was not actually that long ago though.
He got punched in the face?
Yeah, security footage of him like walking under some scaffolding and he just got fucking mollywopped.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And Rick Moranis, for those of you who don't know, he was in Ghostbusters. He was in
Ghostbusters.
He was also in
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I was gonna say Stop or My Mom or Shoot, but that's
Danny DeVito.
That's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is Rocky. Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, right. But is it somebody else too, or is it just?
I don't know. It's a terrible movie.
No, I'm thinking of Throw Mama from the Train. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
But no, Rick Moranis was in My Blue Heaven. He was in a lot of different things. He was in SCTV's Canadian guy. And I believe he retired from show business because his wife died. And apparently he's a really sweet guy. But
he just wanted to be a dad, I think. And I think he had
and he lives
enough money to live middle class.
At least probably a little more than that. You know, and probably got some merchandise rights from Ghostbusters 2.
All right.
Right.
Forget about Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he was in what's the one I'm thinking of where they shrunk him?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yep. There's like a second and a third.
Yeah, he had quite a career actually. And that was like in the days where you probably made like
he made
some good residuals.
Yeah. He had a probably good agent. But anyway, my point is like he lives in the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and he was walking down the street, and I don't think he was like Rick Moranis related. I think it was just some crazy guy.
No, it was just a crazy guy.
Wasn't some guy who was like, I fucking hated Harry and the Hendersons. Oh, why is he? He's not even in that. He's in Stop or My Mom. It sounds like I'm having a stroke. Ghostbusters. Yeah, Rick Moranis. We call him. We'll cancel him. I think he's probably in the Hamptons this whole week, month anyway.
Yeah, he'll be happy he doesn't have to take a blade down here.
Yeah, exactly. He can probably go visit that dead wife of his wherever she is. Some kind of Jewish cemetery. God, shut up.
She's in a pine box somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Remember after they did All in the Family? Remember that show with Meathead and everything?
Oh, sure.
Well, afterwards they did Archie's Place, which was
I never saw that.
It was terrible.
Spin-off of Archie's Place.
Archie's Place. It was when he opened it was like he opened a bar.
Oh, okay.
Right. But they ended every episode where he would sit there and he would talk to Edith at her cemetery plot. And he'd be like, yeah, Edith, this time around, I really stepped into it this month. I called the colored kid down the block. It'd be great if she showed up like a Force ghost. Oh, Archie, you can't call him colored no more. You got to say African American. And I think that she was actually alive, whatever her name was.
Yeah, I wonder why maybe
I
don't know.
I think she probably saw that project wasn't worth her time.
It wasn't gonna be a viable spinoff.
They did that a lot because remember MASH was incredibly popular, and then they did like something with Radar, which was the guy that
I didn't know there was a MASH spinoff.
Yeah, they did
with the Radar.
Yeah,
I would have thought they would go Klinger.
I think
back in the Toledo days.
I think those guys all had like
a prequel.
Yeah. Or what's the guy that pretended he was a transsexual or
Klinger.
Okay, Klinger, right. It's all about his journey through sex reassignment surgery or something.
Yeah.
No, it was like Radar moves back to America, and it's his reintroduction to like society. And
Wow.
I think it's one of those that like 2 or 3,
shit.
like 2 or 3 episodes, and that was that. They pulled the plug on that. But
Wow. It's a shame.
you know what I saw? You know what they're doing? They're doing a Back to the Future 4.
Wow. Okay.
I saw the trailer,
Mhm.
and I think that it's directed by Steven Spielberg. Okay. And I feel like the entire trailer was just a voiceover of like they're coming back in 2023. Not a whole lot of plot giveaway. And they show Michael J. Fox. And listen, God bless Michael J. Fox, but he's super fucked up at this point. Like, I mean, he shakes a lot. Even in The Thing, he's like, you know, I don't know if they're going to go to the future to find a cure for Parkinson's or something. I don't know what they're going to really do for him.
Angle.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. Where we're going, you won't need all that medication. But yeah, they show him, and he's still got on the jean jacket and the thing, and it's like 60 now. I don't know. I hope everyone got a nice paycheck out of this.
Well,
but
I think too, because they don't want to like
what
the way they make movies, and especially big movies now. It's like it just has to be a safe bet. Like the Barbie movie, it's like everybody's gonna see it because they grew up with Barbie or whatever. So they need that built in, or it's just a big Marvel movie.
Yeah,
to like make it worth it. So I think it's just gonna be a lot of that.
We call those
future.
We call those tentpole pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
It's what we call them at the Brown Derby. Me and Irving Wasserman.
Sure.
I don't know, but also I think you're right. But it is kind of. Did you see the most recent? I mean, I know this isn't your thing, but you didn't see the new Indiana Jones, right?
I didn't. No.
You see, Joe DeRosa loved it. And then I was listening to The Bonfire. Shout out Jay Okerson, who, by the way, we've been texting. I don't know. I think we're in a pretty good place right now.
I'm glad.
Jay and I.
I hope you kids work it out.
Yeah. And anyway, so he's on Ozempic, but so we talk a lot about it.
Okay.
We check in once or twice a week with the old Ozempic. Hey, how are you? How are you? Oh my God, I haven't shit diarrhea.
Wow.
LOL. That kind of thing. I mean, it's very
great.
It's still pretty one-sided, and I still think he thinks I'm a bad influence on Kurt Metzger. I'm trying to be a bad influence on him.
Kurt Metzger.
I know. 30 years later. Anyway, my point is the what they're doing is like apparently in Indiana Jones, number one, they CGI him. I mean, he's so old that they CGI him to look like it's from the 50s. So they make him, they CGI him so it looks like he's 60. And then there's CGI, then they don't do CGI, and now he's in it takes place like, I guess, the Shia LaBeouf character. Spoiler alert. The Shia LaBeouf character, who's from the 4th movie, he dies in Vietnam. Nobody likes working with Shia LaBeouf, apparently. So, but when they're in the 50s, the head of the CIA in the 50s in America is a young black woman. Now, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know where to go with that. Like, I feel like, number one, it's an alternate universe anyway. So I guess we can all get behind whatever that is. But it is a little jarring when, she pulls up in like an Edsel and she jumps out, and, you're like, you couldn't even drink from the same water fountain as Indiana Jones, and you're his boss. I don't know. It's a bit much. It's funny. By the way, do I have a message from Nick Nowicki? Is there a text message from him? Because I did reach out. I have a little person friend of mine named Nick Nowicki. He's the greatest. And so I wanted to get his take because they're doing Snow White and the...
Oh, yeah, you do.
I do? What do you say?
Yeah. Hey, it's great to hear from you. And this sounds fun. Do you know how long the call would be?
Let's just call him. Okay, folks. You know what? I don't mean to... We'll call him now, and let's get him on speakerphone.
What time was this? Oh, he responded at 11:28.
11:28.
All right, I'll just call him and we'll put him on speaker.
Yep. What do we do? Do we hang him here? Is that okay?
Hold it right there.
Uh-oh. He's not going to pick up. Don't get Hollywood on me, Nick. Let's keep ringing. Let's see what he picks up. It'd be great if he threw in like little people stuff. Nick?
Hey, this is Nick Novicki. Please leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I
I'm a
can.
little busy.
Hope
Get
you're
it?
having a good day.
Hey, Nick, it's Brian. All right. Well, you probably won't hear your voicemail because no one listens to voicemails, but I just wanted to talk about you're something. I don't know how you feel about Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, and I know you're a little person, and I wanted to find out what you thought about them making the Seven Dwarves into magical people and not having them actually be. I mean, I have my take on it. And also, January 6th, what do you think about that? Just kidding. Can you imagine? All right. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Best of the family. Call me back if, I promise it would take a few minutes. All right. Bye. I love you. All right. There goes Nick. We'll see if he calls back. I'll turn the ringer on. That'll help. It won't be the Empire Strikes Back for him. I have him on as Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
So
Lollipop
stupid.
Guild.
Yes, exactly. Have you ever seen Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
I've heard of it. I mean, I know what it is. I understand the premise, but I
Yep.
don't think I've ever seen it.
It's
No.
a movie where Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher, and it takes place in the hotel where they make where they put all the little people from making Wizard of Oz, and somehow in the middle of it there's a little person Nazi who is there to infiltrate. It's a very odd movie.
Wow.
I think everyone was on lots of cocaine when they
Sounds
made
like
that
it
movie.
might have been Brian's diary. Is what
Oh,
Brian's journal
did I
is
tell
what
you-
this movie
Did I
was
tell you I
based
had-
on.
I tell you I had a wet dream last week?
No, that's great.
Oh my God,
Really?
so weird. Yeah, I don't even know.
Wow, you got that high tea probably.
Oh, I know. I'm
Having nocturnal
I'm gonna
emissions.
get you pregnant. It was the
Maybe.
weirdest thing. I was
God
I
willing.
was laying in bed and I remember I don't remember what the dream was, but clearly I was dreaming about, I don't know, hot dudes and surfboards
Sure.
and
Sure,
bunch of guys camping.
Yes.
What other erotic things like that.
Uh-huh.
A minotaur chasing me around a maze, and
Yeah.
I fall into a pile of ripe fruit.
Bi-curious surfer boys.
Yeah, nothing curious about it. By certain, I'm not
Decisively
bi-curious. I'm decisively gay.
That would be a great porn to Decisively Gay Surfer Boys.
Name of the show.
Oh, that's
the name of it.
that's
Make a
gotta
note.
be- that's good.
Yep. Are you bi-curious? Oh, we're way past bi-curious.
Oh,
I'm decisively gay.
oh,
Anyway,
man.
so I woke up and
We have fun.
we have a great time. I woke up and I had been laying on my stomach or somewhere, and there was like a big spot, and I was like, "What is it?" It was enough that I woke up, and I definitely had an erection.
Was it cold? Was there a cold puddle? Cold puddle of goo?
It was damp. So I got up and I got out of bed, and I sleep nude. Sorry, everybody.
wow.
But yeah. Why
Okay.
not?
All right.
Sometimes, if we have
Fully nude.
Oh
huh?
yeah. Well, sometimes I'll wear a hat.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Praying for a home invasion.
Yeah. I'll wear some sort of a graduation cap. I'll wear. Yeah. Sometimes I'll put on a.
It'd be adorable if you had one of those nightcaps that hangs down with a little.
I wear
buck naked.
Yep, I wear hoop earrings.
Love it.
Yep. Some sort of a necklace. No. But it was weird. So I wake up. And I was like, well, I'll put it this way. If we have kids, if the kids have a sleepover, if there's somebody sleeping in the house that aren't the kids, then I will definitely put on like underwear and a t-shirt. But if it's just
it's Nick.
All right. Get him on. Nicholas. Hey, what's happening? Hi.
How are you?
I'm well. I know it's been a long time, but how are you doing? Everything good?
I'm good.
This
I'm
is
good. Yeah.
kind of
Everything's going well.
kind of a weird way to catch up, but are you I know, right? So by the way, you have one kid now or two?
One.
All right.
Yeah.
How old?
She's 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good. So it hasn't been that long, because I think the last time I talked to you, your wife was pregnant. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
So it's not.
You're in California. You okay? Everything good with everything? You're good. I mean, you wouldn't tell me otherwise. So you're an up.
Yeah, exactly.
You're an upbeat kind of guy. Yeah, I was talking about you with. I was at lunch with Joe DeRosa yesterday. I took him out for lunch.
Nice.
He banged me out for a 3.8 pound lobster. You imagine that?
Wow.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
DeRosa,
I know.
He's an animal.
He's a
You
shell.
gotta go into his bar and head him back on the other side.
Oh,
with those sandwiches.
I won't. He's so upset because his bar has you know how they do those lettered grades?
Yeah.
He has a B. He's.
Get out of here.
I don't know. They don't wear shoes in the kitchen. I'll tell you, that's what it is. But he said, you're from Philly. It adds flavor.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm like, Joe, wipe down the slicer with something other than a Kleenex that you've used. So, yeah, I don't know. But you haven't been in
I
town.
like his music video. I just saw.
You
the
saw
whole
it.
thing.
Yeah, with Jeffrey Gurian. I know I saw him yesterday and I was like, I would have preferred to be in that. And he was like, I needed somebody old. He said old and Jewish. No, he said old, but yeah, no, it looked great. I was happy for him. It was funny. And I was saying to, like you have lots of different interests, like in show business. And it takes a lot of balls to do comedy and then also be like, I make electro pop. But like he just, you know what I mean? But he doesn't care. He's like, look, I do it for fun and fuck it, whatever. Like it's fun for me. And it's not terrible. And I think he doesn't take himself too seriously. You know what I mean? Like, so it was fine. So, all right. So this is why I wanted to ask you about this. I don't know if you heard the voicemail or not, but like we were talking recently about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and how they are going back and as a little person, spoiler alert, do you think, what's your take on like Hollywood rewriting something like that and thinking that I'll tell you my take and then you tell me what you think. Okay. I think that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, if you look at the Seven Dwarfs, it's not necessarily, there's nothing offensive about, they work in a mine. By the way, I know this is a ridiculous conversation, but I think it has to be had. But these are 7 guys that work in a diamond mine. Okay. Number one, they should be like African children, but we're not going to do that. But Snow White and the Blood Diamond Dwarves. Now that's a movie I'd pay $9 to see. But so in the fairy tale, okay, she lives in this house with these 7 guys. It's kind of a crucial part of the movie that they're little. There's a song. Well, now, I don't know. You probably know about this, of course, that they're redoing it. And now they're going to be like 7 mystical characters. Like I look at it and I know Peter Dinklage, who swims in my aunt's pool. Isn't that funny? He's from the same part of... Yeah, he's from the same part of New Jersey that my wife's aunt is from. So his mom is like my aunt's neighbor. So anyway, whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But
that's funny.
Yeah, right. And so he came out and he was like, "Hey, I don't think they should like have the 7 dwarves." I would look at it as these are real characters in a piece of historical fiction. Like it's 7 jobs that aren't being taken by little people who frankly have a really hard time of it in show business. Like, what's your take?
Well, first of all, my take is that it's like I could be doing like a 4-hour podcast, and this is the one little take that will stick with me for the next like 25 years.
Okay, I know, right? Sorry.
No, it's my take is honestly, look, I've been in the business over 20 years. I've done a lot of different jobs. My take is always just create as much as you can on your own, and whether it's this or that, but overall. There's no crazy thing. To me, I'm kind of indifferent. I think that there's nothing wrong with those roles. I mean, as you said, they do all have jobs. It's little people that are doing it now. Is this groundbreaking representation, of little people all living in a 1-bedroom apartment together? I don't know.
It's a cottage. It's not a 1-bedroom apartment. It's it's a delightful small cottage.
There's no even 1 bedroom. It's
a studio. They have bunk beds and shit. Yeah. They don't just stack them like firewood. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, it's nothing crazy, I mean, I don't know.
I know.
I don't think it's, to me, it's like, some of it's like, what's the writing like?
Right. Yeah.
And what's the script like? Is there fun stuff in it? Is there funny? It's got to be like the exact same thing from 1939 or whatever that is. And it's so, what's the point of remaking it anyways, regardless of little people? I mean, that movie was a great movie.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, I liked it,
Yeah. Well, like, I
never personally had some crazy, feelings about it. You know? I mean, I heard it a couple of times. People would say stuff, but it wasn't a big deal to me growing up. It wasn't like, Also, I'm so far removed. I mean, that movie was the 30s.
Yeah, it was like 1932 or something. It was like the first blockbuster Disney movie. Yeah, but I mean, remember when they made Little Mermaid again and everyone lost their mind because it was apparently Ariel's black? in the movie.
I mean, I feel like I'm not seeing, I didn't see as much people going crazy with that. I'm looking at the wrong sites.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll send you some links, but make sure you look at them go to a public library, because you don't want to get on a list. No, but I mean, like, some of these conservative shitheads, like the English guy, Piers Morgan, was like, I can't believe the area. And like, number one, I can't believe we're having the discussion, but I do feel like I look at it as 7 jobs, and I'm like, you know what? And it's not anything to say that. And again, we could talk about this for hours and hours, but like, I feel like if you're looking, it's almost like, look, I am my grandfather's father was from Ireland, and Irish people are routinely portrayed as like drunken, fighting. So it's like, would I say, no, you got to not do a movie about that? It's like, I don't know. But I do feel like it's a shame, because it's like, number one, yeah, who cares? And you can reinvent it because it's a fucking stupid fairy tale. But at the same time, it's almost like saying, like, no, little people are offensive. And I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I know that you're sort of like removed from it and not. But I feel like it's like, come on, man. Like it's almost like we were just talking about the new Indiana Jones movie, and it's like the 4th one, and the head of the CIA from 1952 is a young black.
Don't tell me, I want to see it.
Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Indiana Jones is 90. No, but you'll see. They see. I haven't. Joe DeRosa loved it. I haven't seen it, but this isn't.
I want to see it.
I'm not spoiling it for you, but you'll see that the head of the CIA is a young black woman in 1952, and you're kind of like, all right, I guess we're doing this, but like, okay, you know what I mean? Like Jay Okerson was talking, and we were like, yeah, like that would not be a thing that would fly in 1952, but there's not even a real Indiana Jones, so what are we worried about? So I guess you're helping me. I don't know. You're helping me get through. What are you working on right now?
Right now, I mean, actually, the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge, I run a film competition literally to this thing of creating other opportunities for people with disabilities. And you make a film that has somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. And so honestly, that's like the long story of it with, that movie is, for me, I'm more focused on create your own thing,
sure,
create your own project.
Right.
Like, let's not, whether you're for it or against it, I'm kind of indifferent. You need to create your own project, because regardless, it's that model of wait every 15 years for, a life-changing role, whether it's amazing or not, is not really the way of the future. It's create your own stuff.
Well,
and then, aside from that, it's a ton of stand-up and
right.
And other projects, and there's a strike, so also just kind of waiting for that to end.
I know, that crazy. Is it crazy out there, or like, are people picketing and things like that? Like, what's it going?
I'm actually gonna go today.
Good.
I haven't been to a picket yet. So
well, go ahead. I'm
gonna go.
All right. Okay. Get out there, and you're right. You're like, oh, look at that. You're like, I'm picketing with Dolph Lundgren. Yeah, I've seen.
That would be cool.
That would be.
I'd like that.
Yeah,
I'll throw that on Instagram. If Dolph is there.
Yeah. Hey, what is your Instagram What's your Instagram, by the way?
Nick Novicki. NICNOVICKI.
Okay. Any plans coming back east anytime?
I was there around July 4th, but I just went straight to like New Haven, hung out with my parents.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm probably over like Christmas, New Year's.
Okay.
It just usually, I want to get back and do shows. It's just hard, just because I had a kid, and a lot of times it's like,
when they turn 3, you're able to like go 3 is like the magic number. 3's top side.
Yeah.
Because there's
exactly.
when I was 3, I was running a small lumber mill, and I tell you, it was the payroll got to me because I couldn't get the numbers straight. So I had my team to help me, but when you do what you want, this was the 20s. It was a different time. But
I feel like it was the 20s when I slept at your house one night.
I know, remember that? I know that was 2 nights, by the way. And I tell you, all the sex we had, we barely slept. Hey, so I've actually moved. I moved into Manhattan now, so I'm here. I'm here now.
Nice.
So if you need, I'm very wealthy. So if you need a place to stay, I can certainly put you up here. It's just I'll put you up in the billiard room, or maybe the
I love it.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, well, listen, thank you. You're a good sport. I appreciate you calling me back. Next time you're in town, so let me take you and the wife and the kid to a nice dinner. If you're, just let me know. Give me a week or two when you're in town, okay?
It would be fun to hang.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see you.
Absolutely, Nick. All right, stay healthy, man. Thanks a lot. Nick Navicki, everybody. All right, see you, buddy. There he goes. What a fucking
you
nice
go.
guy he is. There you go. Nick was like, hey, he's right. Make your own thing. And Nick's like, look, as long as the dwarves aren't black, I think that's my takeaway from that. Nick's like, as long as they're white dwarves.
That's a good way to not really kind of circumvent the question, though, too, is just like kind of what we were talking about prior to that, which is like, why are we just constantly remaking stupid shit?
Yeah.
It's like, but that's the thing is it has to be something that is like recognizable enough that they can get the box office. And to his point, it's like, because of that, nobody's making any shit. So it's like, one, we shouldn't be rewarming bullshit more, because that's all we do, really, or Hollywood seems to do. And so then it's kind of like, who cares if they're dwarves or not? Because
I hear you. I mean,
Yeah.
the Nick Navicki story that I've told before, and then I guess we can say hi to everybody.
We'll go behind the curtain here.
All right, you know what? Let's just do that now then. So let's say
hi everybody. Hi Ted. Hi
Ted.
Josh Jack.
Hey,
hi
Josh.
Tanktastic.
Hey, I know that guy.
Sounds like a webcam girl.
Yep.
Thank you, Tanktastic.
Thank you, Tank.
We're doing a gold show out here in 30 minutes.
Don't be a tip. I'm double dildo. Double dildo anal.
Hi to Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
That's everybody.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's good.
Hey,
it's a Friday. It's a big.
One more.
Oh,
hi to James.
Hi, James. All right, everybody. Listen, thank you very much. Remember, like, subscribe, all that bullshit. And then we're gonna go behind the beaded curtain right now. There's something else. And next week we're gonna have Ted on. Ted, try and get a haircut or something. Look,
or don't
put on a collared shirt for Christ's sake. Don't just show up in a tank top. A tanktastic top.
Tanktastic top.
Easy for you to say. Tanktastic top. And then we do have the Brian McCarthy interview show, the new t-shirts. We're putting them on an Etsy. I'm putting them on like an Etsy store, but my wife has to help me set that up. So I'm trying to.
Okay, once you set it up, you'll give me the link and we'll put it right in we'll put it right in the Patreon.
Yep.
Patreon and everywhere else.
Yep. It'll be all over the place. So everybody, Thank you. Enjoy everything. Enjoy your weekend. We will see you next week with Ted.